Val King. I'm standing in for Nancy. Nancy has been hospitalised this afternoon, having come back from Kenya. She has either malaria or typhoid or both. So I found out I was going to be doing this at 2 o'clock this afternoon, but I'm going to give it a good go. And I'm a businesswoman. I run a business in Oxfordshire, but I work 2 days a week on a voluntary basis, working with Nancy and the team on operations and strategy. The Nasio Trust story is a really good story. Nancy's from Kenya. She's a black Kenyan woman who's gorgeous, and much more gorgeous than I am, and I wish she was here, but she's unfortunately in a hospital. Her mother, Irene, found an orphan, a young child who she later called Moses, wandering around in her village in western Kenya. Moses had nowhere to live. Irene took him in. And then Nancy's sister, Lorna, decided she had virtually nothing, but she did have a roadside shack, and she decided to set up a basic daycare centre just in this roadside shack. And the first day she thought she was going to get 15 orphans coming to her. She got 60. So that was good news and bad news. In the meantime, Nancy, who's living in the UK, decided that she was going to help with some UK fundraising in the UK to help the orphans in Kenya. So that she started working at UK funding, and in fact now we have 2 daycare centres helping 250 orphans. But not only the orphans themselves, who tend to have no parents because the parents have either died of HIV or some other related disease. They help the guardians, who are normally the grandparents, because we don't want these children going into orphanages. We want to help them with their education, with clothing, with food. In fact, in Kenya, HIV drugs are free, but they need to eat and drink good water to be able to make sure that the drugs are effective. So this is really, really important. We help them with a farm project. We want these children to have the best start in life that's possible. So, the medical care and all the programs go together to form a really fantastic program in Western Kenya. I'm sure you know a lot of excellent charities who help African poor people, and there are many, many excellent charities available. But the Nasio Trust is different, because what the Nasio Trust does is to relate Kenyan people and UK people, in particular young people. So it's not Kenyan people just us helping them, they're helping us, and they're helping our UK young people who have gone adrift. There are lots of them who are either in drugs, they're in alcohol, a lot of them don't have any family support whatsoever. So what will happen to these young people in the future? They're just going to get into bad ways, and basically they're just going to be cast adrift from what we would regard as normal society. So when Nancy was here working in the UK, helping on a voluntary basis to fundraise, she was actually working with Thames Valley Police, officers like Louise, and another officer called John Cornelius. So Louise is going to tell us about the programme that she set up with Nancy, and she's just come back from Africa to tell you.
Good evening. I hope you can all hear me. I won't use the microphone. The pictures behind that you can see scrolling past are from several trips, I think 6, 7 in total, since 2004, where we've taken UK young people who have been from a disadvantage, is probably the best word to use, background, and we've really kind of turned their negative behaviour into positive and shown them a whole new way of life, really. There's many UK young people whose perception of the world is really limited by the local horizons. So we've worked in particular with Berensfield in Oxfordshire. I'm a police officer on the Vale of the White Horse, and in Berensfield it's a very small village. It's like a circle as such. The children from Berensfield, some of them haven't been outside of Oxfordshire. They don't know who the Prime Minister is. They call Nairobi, Nairobia. They're just examples of how kind of it's all about Facebook, it's all about their family and friends. They can tell you what's going on 10 doors up, but they can't tell you what's going on in London, for example. They then unfortunately, descend into criminal behaviour and thoughtless behaviour at an age when really we could say, look, this is what you could achieve if you just come and help us fundraise for some children. It's an amazing project in my view. I'm very passionate about it, and I think I've only got about 20 seconds left. But it really does take a group of UK young people at an age where they could either go into prisons, into the criminal justice system, into getting arrested every week, or they could raise a lot of money for people that are much less better off than themselves, realistically. If they do raise that money, they get the opportunity of going to Kenya themselves and carrying out vital work for the Nasio Trust, hands-on work, hard work. Matthew is just sat here. He travelled with me 2 weeks ago, and we've just come back. and the work he's done, I think, is exceptional, together with 20 other UK young people. Another minute. Just quickly show you a video. There's a couple of our young people. Two of the young people, when the sound hopefully does come on, we'll be speaking about the trip that we came back from 2 weeks ago, albeit we have run it since 2004.
Since I was working with them, I got better and was a lot more confident than I was used to.
There's a lot of hard work, and it makes you become more dedicated towards the charity itself and sort of other goals in life. It sort of, I don't know, guides you in a way, and it's sort of worked as an inspiration towards me, because it's going to be one of my life goals. One visiting another continent, and another is helping people that are less fortunate than I am.
They're so proud to have been involved in something like that. And sometimes a lot of kids just need an arm around them and say, well done, that's that.